few other folks who lead all of our design stuff, everything like that. Let's skip all this. So the big thing that the comms team is able to do is, we're happy to help give media trainings if you'd like for your teams, for your folks. We also have materials all online, so you can also just kind of pull that. And as I said, I'll be sharing both this presentation and then a longer form one that we have as well. So whatever we can do to make your work and life easier on this, we'd be more than happy to do. Then the other thing is, of course, posting blogs, etc. We can do helping with designs, fact sheets, everything like that. Basically, any public-facing material, whether it's on paper or on a T-shirt or anything like that, the media team is able to help with. And I would say, please feel free to reach out to either the regional press secretary person you may work with, or myself and Cindy, and we can make sure we get all of that done. Sorry. Yeah, and again, like I said, a big thing, we also have Grace McRae is our polling research director. Occasionally we'll do polls, or if you get a hold of a poll, Grace is able to go through all of that and help dissect it and pull information and everything. She works and knows the national polling firms and a lot of the local ones across the country quite well, and has great relationships there, and so can really help out as well. Yeah, and then of course, as I said, we're also just around if you just want to have to talk things out, talk out an interview, or talk out a media strategy, anything like that. So yeah, so the things we don't do, of course, just I want to note, emails and websites. We don't design websites. We don't do the regional the emails or anything like that, or anything on AdUp. When it comes to social media, we have a national account. We're always happy to amplify anything from the chapters. So if you have something that you put out on the Sierra Club Connecticut or Sierra Club Virginia Twitter handle, please feel free to send it my way or Cindy's, and we'll make sure it gets retweeted and amplified by the national account as well. Here's a bit about on equity, on the Jimenez principles, everything along those lines. That's a long conversation unto itself, and I believe you may have had Nellis on, or someone from her department, to talk about our equity work. And so I don't want to fumble that, which I probably will. But all of it is included here that we can use as well. Sorry. So again, in here, as I mentioned, we have training videos, everything online. It's all on Clubhouse, and Scott, I can't think of the name of the thing that replaced Clubhouse, but whatever the name of the item there. Thank you, Campfire. They're both all on there, but I'll also, when this gets shared around, it's linked to those, so you can pull it up on that. And again, happy to send this to you. We'd also have physical books for the comms trainings that we're happy to send a copy your way. Yeah, so it's a very quick 30,000-foot view of everything we can do. Obviously, there's a lot more to the biggest thing that we've also done in the past is working with chapters when they work with our ELP, our legal team, and filing lawsuits, is that especially Aaron Isherwood get brought in to help draft press statements and everything along those lines, whatever could be helpful in sharing that story. As always, detailing lawsuits are not always the easiest and most fun thing to do, and trying to not only tell the story to the press, but also get them to simply care about it. With that, I want to turn it over. Anything I can really talk about, how I can help you all. Again, happy to have, side conversations whenever is needed to dive into any issues you may be facing, questions, etc. Now, tomorrow, 5 months from now.
Yeah, thanks. This is Kate, and yeah, great to see you both. Appreciate all of the work that you do. I guess I was wondering if you could give us an update, John, on uses of the design team for development of things like fact sheets. I know that that's been really helpful for our chapter in the past, but sometimes there, needs to be a respectful understanding of how much time things take and how many other things people have on their plate. So if you could just share what's the best way to go about that and how much lead time should we give?
Sure, absolutely. Thank you, Kate. So there's the design team needs a varying amount of time depending on what the item is. When it's a fact sheet, they always prefer 3 days notice, but it can be turned around 24 hours because we do have a template where they kind of just drop so long as it's a simple, maybe a picture or two and just text. Excuse me, fact sheet. They can drop everything and turn it around quickly. It's when it's longer, especially original design items such as new T-shirts or something more complicated. That's when they really need at least a week, um, a week, a week's heads up. But they can ideally, they'll always say 2 or 3 would be best, but they can turn it around in a week. It may take longer depending on if it needs to be shipped and everything like that. Say you need new uh, new signs for an event you have coming up, and they need to be printed and shipped. I would say 2 weeks is likely going to be the minimum amount there. So it's just kind of varying along those lines of how many different steps are required with the piece.
This is Kate. If others don't have one, I'll go again. I wanted to see if you had any guidance, John, for the areas of like issue support and national comm support where things don't fall clearly into one campaign or another. For example, our governor just made an announcement recently about the first trying to move forward with setting the first regulations on methane for our state, which we're excited to work on with them. But it seems like it might be something that goes somewhere in the middle of Dirty Fuels and Beyond Coal campaign. And so I'm not really sure who to work with, if at all, because it is, of course, still state level, but there's been federal action before. So maybe if you could talk a little bit about how to figure out who to contact when things are not very clear.
Absolutely. So with those, I would always say feel free to just reach out to me if you have any questions. If something doesn't fit neatly into any box, feel free to shoot me a note. I'm happy to traffic them and make sure and find the right person if I'm not the correct person to work with on that. Typically, 9 times out of 10, when it doesn't fit into the Beyond Coal box, it fits into my teams, and so I can easily move that then. But yeah, no, if there's ever a question, you all should always feel free to reach out to me. I'm always happy to help.
I will just also then make a plug because I think that your team's resources are really helpful, and we use the models, things like the message box, and that kind of stuff for state-based issues. And so, again, I don't know if this is helpful for other chapters, but it does seem like there are a lot of things that National doesn't work on that our members and activists in the state want to engage on. And so anytime we have a new campaign or an issue that folks are looking to start, working on, I encourage them to create a message box and, some of those other things, just to make sure that we're all on the same page messaging wise before folks start going out in the field, even if it's at the local level, to work on it. And of course, a lot of our leaders have been around a really long time and may just not be familiar with that format. But usually once we talk to them about, how simple it is and what the uses are for it, they also see the value in it, and we're able to all get on the same page.
Thank you so much. Really appreciate it, Kate. Thank you. And yeah, in the materials that'll be shared, there are links to the message box and explainers if you're not familiar with it. But always please feel free to reach out with any questions you may have on them.
No, just sorry that I missed it. I had to be at a press conference, actually.
Yeah, sorry, just wanted to say thank you. I will work through those materials. I'm sure for help along the way, but yeah, good to know that it's available.
Absolutely. And yeah, like I said, please always feel free to reach out, to email Cindy, myself, both of us. Whatever you put in, one of us or both of us will get back to you. Bye, all.
Thank you. Bye-bye.